Hey, it's Ethan here at etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install these Glacier cable snow tire chains on our 2020 Ford F-150. These are going to be on tire size 275/65R18. Make sure you check the fit guide at etrailer.com to get the right fit for your tires. Also, we have them on the rear axle as per the owner's manual. Make sure you're double checking that just to make sure you get them on the right axle for your car. Basically, these are kind of an emergency case only set of chains. They're going to be useful for you if you live in an area where you need snow tire chains, maybe every once in a while for just some really light snow. Otherwise, they have some pros and cons that we'll get into in this video. The chains are a ladder pattern, which means they go straight across our tire parallel to one another. Usually it helps you with starting and stopping. It's the same with this case, but not quite as much so as you would with your traditional square links. Because with those traditional square links, you do usually get a little bit of a higher profile and more bumpiness while you're driving. Because these are roller styles and they go across the cables the way they do, they're going to cut down on a lot of that bumpiness. It's going to be a smoother ride, but with that you get less bite. Because they are so low profile though, they do meet Class S compatibility standards, which to be fair is what the owner's manual recommends. But if you do have an F-150 like we have here, chances are you're going to need something a little bit more high profile, unless again you do live in an area where you're doing a lot more warm weather things, but you maybe get a little bit of cold weather or you legally are required to have them. These are a solid pair of chains for that. There are also low carbon steel, which is a little bit of a downside compared to some other chains that do have some higher alloy metal materials. These aren't going to last quite as long or be quite as durable. Our only real method of getting tension into these chains is to use this lever here down at the bottom. So we do recommend picking up one of these rubber tensioners if you do decide to go with these chains, just to put it on and keep things secure and help you get that initial fit a little bit better. Also, the chains do come two to a set in this pretty lightweight plastic bag. It's not the easiest to roll these things back up once you're done using them. It's actually really difficult, especially with both of them, once you get them out, to get them back in this bag. So again, if you do pick up these chains, I'd recommend upgrading to something a little bit larger, like some kind of larger plastic tote to keep these in, just to make it easier to roll them up and store them when you're not using them. As far as the install process goes, there are only a couple of connections, but you will have to get under and around your tire to get them on. So we recommend practicing in your garage before you find yourself stranded on the side of the road trying to figure it out. You can check out how we did it though right now. First thing we like to do is lay the chains out flat. We just want to make sure we're not caught up or twisted or tangled anywhere. We want to make sure that this lever here is on the side facing us, because we will have to use that in just a bit. And we want to make sure the chains are facing the right way. We'll do that using these hoops or hooks at the end of each set of rollers. So as you can see here, we have the connecting side. We'd rather have this flat side that's flush, making contact with the tread of our tires. So as long as we have it facing in this direction, we're good to go. From here, I'm going to center things up one last time, and then I'm going to grab a couple of these links towards the back and drape them over our tire. Doing my best to get everything even out, side to side as well as front to back. It's just going to make our lives a little bit easier once we go to make our first connection on the back side, which we'll do now. To do that, all we're going to need to do is fit these metal studs through this eyelet on this catch plate here. In our case, we got a decent amount of slack, so I'm going to go with the second one, but we can come back and adjust that later if we need to. And if for some reason you have a bunch of excess, you can put it in one of these red hooks on the other side. Our connection on the front side is going to be very similar. We're going to start by fitting the studs in through this eyelet. For this one, I'm going to go for maybe the fourth one if I can get it. Looks like we're good there. And then I'm going to lever this arm backwards until I can connect it onto that cable. Again, if you do have enough excess, you can fit it into one of these red hooks. From here, we have a decent amount of tension on the chains overall, but you can see we still have a little bit of give. So to get that initial fit down a little bit better and to give us a little bit more security, we're going to throw on one of these rubber tensioners. I'm going to put it on similar to how you would put a tire on or take it off. You want to make sure that the hooks are facing out again, similar to the ones that we talked about on the hoops that they connect to. And I'll go top down, left to right as evenly as possible. Again, just sort of to get that initial fit a little bit better and keep the chain secure while we're moving. With the tensioner in place, you see we have a lot less give and a lot more tension on our chains, so make sure you do that for your passenger side after you get the chains on that one as well. Roll forward or backward a few times just to make sure that everything is in place and secure. Then you're ready to go. So overall, every chain has their sort of time and place. I would say for these chains, I mentioned it a couple times, but they're really going to be sort of only in emergency case only situations, or if you live in an area where you're legally required to have them, but you don't get a ton of snow and ice. So if you want to maybe upgrade to something that's still easy to install, but you get a little bit more grip on them, I would check out something like the Koenig diamond pattern assisted or self-tensioning tire chains. They're still really easy to install, but you're going to get more grip and they're going to last for a lot longer. However, again, if you are just in need of an emergency pair of chains, these are still going to be a good option for you. This again was just a quick look at the Glacier chain snow tire chains and how they fit on our 2020 Ford F-150.